Hi, everyone. Welcome back to English Fab, where learning English is practical, useful, and fab. There is a lot happening around the world today. Let's learn vocabularies and phrases related to them together and talk about them in daily conversation. If you find English difficult, don't worry. You can translate the subtitles into English and your own language like this. Check the description below for extra details. All right, let's get started. World topics. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Tariffs, taxes imposed on imported or exported goods. Retaliatory, a response intended as revenge or counteraction. Escalate, to increase in intensity or seriousness. Threatens, expresses an intention to cause harm or impose consequences. Phrases. Threatens action, indicates a warning of a possible strong response. If not removed, a condition based on something not being taken away. Rising tension, increasing strain or hostility in a situation. 2. Vocabulary. Indices, plural of index, statistical measures of market performance. Plunge, a sudden and dramatic decrease. Bear market, a market in which prices are falling, encouraging selling. Phrases. Stocks fall, share prices decrease. Due to fears, caused by worries or concerns. Hits low, reaches a minimum point or record low level. 3. Vocabulary. Conflict, a serious disagreement or fight, often prolonged. Regional, relating to a specific geographic area. Scheduled, arranged, or planned for a certain time. Phrases. Set to meet, planned or expected to gather. Discuss issues, talk about or address problems. Focus on Gaza, center attention or conversation on the Gaza region. 4. Vocabulary. Countermeasures, actions taken to counteract or respond to threats or attacks. Levy, a tax or fee imposed officially. Negotiated, discussed to reach an agreement. Phrases. Plans reply, intends to respond or act. Add duties, impose additional taxes or charges. Prefers talks, favors discussion over conflict. 5. Vocabulary. State visit, a formal visit by a head of state to another country. Overseas, in or to a foreign country, especially across the sea. Monarch, a king, queen, or emperor. Phrases. Starts tour, begins an official or organized journey. First trip, the initial journey or visit. Post-coronation, after the official crowning of a monarch. 6. Vocabulary. Soyuz, a Russian spacecraft used for space missions. Astronauts, trained personnel who travel in space. Mission, a task or assignment, especially one with a specific goal. Phrases. Launches crew, sends a team of people into space. Heads to ISS, travels toward the International Space Station. Starts mission, begins an assigned task or operation. Business. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Intervene, to take action to affect a situation. Forex, abbreviation for foreign exchange, the market where currencies are traded. Rupiah, the official currency of Indonesia. Phrases. Plans to act, intends to take steps or measures. Aims to stabilize, seeks to make something more steady or secure. After depreciation, following a decrease in value, especially of a currency. 2. Vocabulary. Interest rates, the cost of borrowing money expressed as a percentage. Cash rate, the benchmark interest rate set by a central bank. Economists, experts who study and analyze economic data and trends. Phrases: expected to reduce, anticipated to lower or decrease. In response to, as a reaction to something. Further cuts likely, additional reductions are probable. 3. Vocabulary: layoffs, job terminations, usually for economic reasons. Outsourcing: contracting out tasks or jobs to an external company. Joint venture: a business arrangement in which two or more parties collaborate. Phrases: will halt activity, will stop operations or business processes. Affects thousands, has an impact on many people. Begins April 8th, starts on the date of April 8th. 4. Vocabulary: bonds, fixed income instruments used by companies or governments to raise money. Yields, earnings from an investment, usually expressed as a percentage. Fundraising, the act of collecting money for business or projects. Phrases: set to borrow, planned or ready to obtain money through loans or bonds. Triggered by drop, initiated due to a fall, typically in rates or prices. To front-load plans, to advance or prioritize actions at the beginning of a timeline. 5. Vocabulary: recession, a period of economic decline typically marked by reduced trade and employment. Likelihood, the probability or chance of something happening. Trade tensions, strained economic relationships between countries, often over tariffs. Odds, the probability or chance of an outcome occurring. Phrases: raises forecast, increases the expected outcome or prediction. Due to tariffs, because of imposed trade taxes or barriers. Signals concern, indicates or expresses worry or caution. 6. Vocabulary: index, a statistical measure of changes in a financial market. Decline, a reduction or decrease. Trade war, an economic conflict resulting from extreme protectionism. Suffer, to experience negative effects or hardship. Phrases: plummeted sharply, dropped suddenly and steeply. Marks largest fall, indicates the biggest recorded drop. Driven by fear, motivated or caused by worry or panic. Entertainment. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary: premiere, the first public showing or performance of a film, TV series, or event. Acclaimed, highly praised or recognized, often by critics or audiences. Cast, the group of actors performing in a show, film, or play. Phrases: returns for season, comes back with a new installment or cycle. Set years after, takes place a specific number of years following previous events. New additions included, introduces new characters or elements. 2. Vocabulary: dystopian, relating to an imagined society where there is great suffering or injustice. Episodes, individual parts or segments of a TV series. Netflix, a streaming platform known for producing and hosting series and films. Phrases: features 6 parts, includes 6 episodes or installments. Explores themes, investigates or presents particular ideas or messages. Debuts on platform, first appears or is released on a streaming service. 3. Vocabulary: rebel, a person or group opposing control, often in a revolutionary context. Journey, a physical or metaphorical adventure or process of change. Finale, the last part or conclusion of a series or event. Phrases: chronicles character, follows or records the life and actions of a character. Continues story arc, maintains or develops an ongoing narrative. Final season airs, the concluding season is broadcast or released. 4. Vocabulary: reality, a genre of television featuring unscripted real-life situations. Cast, the group of individuals participating in a show. Personalities, recognizable public figures, often from entertainment or media. Phrases: reveals lineup, announces the list of participants or performers. Includes stars, features well-known people. Set to premiere, scheduled to begin airing or showing. 5. Vocabulary. Concert, a live performance, typically of music. Studio album, a collection of music tracks recorded in a studio setting. Promote, to publicize or support something in order to increase awareness or sales. Phrases, kicks off in, begins in a particular location. Performs hits, sings or plays popular songs. Supports release, helps to launch or bring attention to a new project. 6. Vocabulary. Sci-fi, short for science fiction, a genre focused on futuristic or technological themes. Digital, delivered or available through electronic formats rather than physical. Release, the act of making something available to the public. Phrases, now available, currently ready for viewing or purchase. Starring actor, featuring a specific lead performer. Directed by, created or overseen by a particular filmmaker. Health. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Diagnosis, the identification of a disease or condition by a doctor. Incurable, a condition that cannot be cured or eliminated. Update, the latest information or status about a situation. Phrases, remains active, continues to be engaged or involved in activities. Set to appear, scheduled or expected to be present or participate. Battling since, has been struggling with the condition from a particular time. 2. Vocabulary. Analytics, the systematic computational analysis of data. Value-based, focused on outcomes, especially in healthcare, relative to cost. Facilities, places equipped for a particular purpose, such as hospitals or clinics. Phrases, will discuss, will talk about or present, aims to improve, intends to make better or more effective. Integrating data, combining different data sources into a system or process. 3. Vocabulary. Recruit, to attract or enlist people for a specific role or purpose. Innovation, the introduction of new ideas, methods, or products. Network, a group or system of interconnected people or things. Phrases, aims to attract, intends to draw in or appeal to specific individuals. Seeks to position, tries to establish a place or reputation in a specific field. Launches initiative, starts or introduces a new program or campaign. 4. Vocabulary. NIH, National Institutes of Health, a U.S. medical research agency. Spending, the amount of money used for a specific purpose. Maintain, to keep at the same level or continue as is. Phrases, passes legislation, approves a law or policy officially. Maintains funding, continues financial support without changes. Set at level, established or fixed at a particular amount or point. 5. Vocabulary. Nonprofit, an organization that operates for a cause rather than profit. Debt, money owed by one party to another. Eliminated, completely removed or ended. Phrases, retires bills, cancels or pays off outstanding financial obligations. Helps millions, provides support or benefit to a large number of people. Highlights issue, draws attention to a problem or concern. 6. Vocabulary. Strategies, planned methods or approaches for achieving goals. Student, a person studying at a school or college. Wellness, a state of being in good physical and mental health. Phrases, explores solutions, investigates possible answers or ways to resolve problems. Addresses challenges, takes action to deal with difficulties. Focuses on youth, concentrates efforts on children or young people. Sports. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary: injury, physical harm, or damage to the body. Quarterfinal: a round in a tournament where 8 competitors remain. Confident: feeling sure about one's ability or outcome. Phrases: will be without, will not have something or someone available. Remains confident, continues to have belief or certainty. Ahead of clash, before an important match or confrontation. 2. Vocabulary: ambition, a strong desire to achieve something. Emirates refers to Emirates Stadium, Arsenal's home ground. Champions, winners of a competition or tournament. Phrases: prepares to face, getting ready to compete against. Emphasizes belief, highlights or stresses confidence. Set to play, scheduled or ready to participate in a game. 3. Vocabulary: withdraws, pulls out or removes oneself from participation. Major, a significant or prestigious tournament, especially in golf. Confirmed, officially stated or acknowledged. Phrases: has withdrawn, has decided not to participate. As confirmed, as officially announced. From this week's event, referring to the current week's competition. 4. Vocabulary: sabbatical, a break or leave of absence from work, often for rest or research. Careers, the professions or life work of individuals. Well-being, a state of being comfortable, healthy, or happy. Phrases: suggest that more, proposes that a greater number should take an action. Should be granted, ought to be given or approved. To prolong careers, to extend the duration of a professional life. 5. Vocabulary: winger, a player positioned near the sidelines, often in soccer or rugby. Refreshed, rejuvenated, or feeling renewed. Layoff, a temporary break from playing, often due to injury or rest. Phrases: believes he is ready, thinks he is prepared to perform. After break, following a rest or pause. Prepared for match, ready to participate in a game. 6. Vocabulary: meniscus, a type of cartilage in the knee often injured in sports. Center back, a defensive position in football, soccer. Season ending, causing an athlete to miss the remainder of the current season. Phrases: will miss remainder, will be absent for the rest of the period. Due to injury as a result of physical harm. Out for season, unable to return before the season ends. Climate. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary: rainstorms, heavy rain events, often accompanied by strong winds and potential flooding. Intensity, the strength or severity of something, in this case, rainfall. Flooding, overflow of water onto land that is usually dry. Phrases: has increased by, indicates a rise in quantity or intensity. Raises concern, causes worry or attention to an issue. Since 1970, refers to the starting point of a trend or data set. 2. Vocabulary: carbon credits, tradable permits, allowing the holder to emit a certain amount of carbon dioxide. Emissions, release of gases, especially greenhouse gases, into the atmosphere. Industries, economic sectors involved in producing goods or services. Phrases: is exploring use, investigating or considering the adoption of something. Aims to achieve, has the goal of reaching a certain outcome. May impact, could affect or influence. 3. Vocabulary: threshold, a level or limit at which something changes or starts to have an effect. Cloud brightening, a geoengineering concept to reflect sunlight by altering cloud properties. Interventions, actions taken to improve or alter a situation. Phrases: emphasizes need, highlights the importance or urgency of something. Following breach, after a limit or condition has been exceeded. Calls for research, requests or advocates for scientific investigation. 4. Vocabulary: temperature, the degree of heat present in the environment. Flowering, the blooming phase of plants, which can shift with climate changes. Disruptions, interruptions, or alterations to natural patterns or systems. Phrases: experiences rise, goes through an increase or upward trend. Leads to change, causes transformation or adjustment. Since 1970, time reference indicating when a pattern began. 5. Vocabulary: Detroit, a major city in Michigan, USA, used here as a geographic reference. Rainfall, the amount of precipitation in the form of rain over a period. Infrastructure, physical structures like roads, sewers, and drainage systems. Phrases: reports increase, documents or notes arise in data or measurements. Raises concern, prompts worry or action. Due to change, caused by an alteration, often environmental. 6. Vocabulary: maritime, related to the sea, shipping, or navigation. Emissions tax, a charge placed on the release of greenhouse gases. Net zero, achieving a balance between emissions produced and removed from the atmosphere. Phrases: are negotiating, engaged in discussions to reach an agreement. To achieve by aiming to reach a goal before a certain deadline. Through organization via a specific governing or collaborative body. Technology. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary: venture, a business enterprise involving risk or uncertainty. Layoffs, dismissals of employees, usually for economic reasons. Outsourcing, using external companies to perform jobs typically done internally. Halts, brings to a stop or end. Phrases: will cease operations, will stop doing business. Results in job cuts, leads to employees losing their jobs. Starting Tuesday, indicates when an event or action begins. 2. Vocabulary: data centers, facilities used to house computer systems and associated components. AI computing, the use of artificial intelligence in processing and computation. Utilities, companies that provide essential services such as electricity or water. Phrases: face power strain, experience pressure or stress on energy supply systems. Driven by growth caused by or resulting from expansion or increased demand. Planning challenges arise. Difficulties emerge during the planning process. 3. Vocabulary: profit, financial gain from business activity. Foundry, a facility where semiconductors or chips are manufactured. AI chips, computer chips designed to accelerate artificial intelligence tasks. Phrases: expects decline, anticipates a decrease. Due to weak sales, because of low product demand. Attributes loss to, blames or assigns the cause of loss to a particular factor. 4. Vocabulary: brokers, companies or individuals who trade financial assets. Outage, a period when a service is unavailable. Heavy trading, a large volume of financial transactions. Tech glitch, a technical malfunction or temporary fault in a system. Phrases: experienced issues, encountered problems. Caused by demand, resulting from a high level of usage or interest. Now resolved, the problem has been fixed or addressed. 5. Vocabulary: Bitcoin, a digital currency used for transactions and investment. Cryptocurrency, a digital form of money secured by cryptography. Market value, the current price or worth of an asset in the market. Phrases: falls to level, drops to a specific point or amount. Traded at, the value at which an asset is bought or sold. Down approximately, decreased by about a certain percentage. 6. Vocabulary: e-commerce, commercial transactions conducted electronically on the internet. Board, a group of individuals overseeing the activities of a company. Investor pressure, influence or demands from shareholders or financial backers. Phrases: appoints new member, names or selects a new individual to a position. Amid rising tension, during a period of increasing conflict or disagreement. Responds to demands, takes action following a request or pressure. Travel. Now let's learn the related vocabulary and useful phrases. 1. Vocabulary. Bookings, reservations made in advance, especially for travel or accommodation. Demand, the desire or need for goods or services. Easter, a holiday period that often affects travel patterns and school schedules. Phrases. Reports increase, announces that numbers or activity have risen. Indicates recovery, suggests that the situation is improving after a downturn. Following slowdown, after a period of decreased activity or demand. 2. Vocabulary. Subway, an underground urban railway system. Children, young people, often considered under the age of 16. Holidays, periods when schools or businesses are closed, often associated with travel. Phrases. Allows free rides, permits travel at no cost. Supports families, provides help or benefits for people with children. During Easter break, in the time schools are closed for the Easter holiday. 3. Vocabulary. ETA, electronic travel authorization, a system for pre-screening travelers. Visa exempt, describes countries whose citizens don't need a visa for entry. Authorization, official permission to do something. Phrases. Must obtain before, required to get in advance of an activity. Valid for 2 years, can be used for a duration of 24 months. Costs £16, has a price of 16 British pounds. 4. Vocabulary. Discounts, reductions in price from the regular cost. Destinations, places where people travel, such as cities or countries. Accommodations, lodging such as hotels or vacation rentals. Phrases. Can find offers, deals or opportunities are available. Includes up to 40%, may contain price reductions as high as 40%. Highlighted by travel sites, featured or recommended on travel-related websites. 5. Vocabulary. Check-in, the process of confirming one's presence for a flight. MSP Airport, Minneapolis, St. Paul International Airport. Baggage, luggage or suitcases travelers bring with them. Phrases. Must arrive early, travelers are required to come ahead of time. Effective, April 8th. The rule starts being enforced from April 8th. Policy change applies. The new regulation is in effect. 6. Vocabulary. Advisories, official notices, or warnings about specific concerns. Safety concerns, potential dangers or risks, especially while traveling. Countries, nations, or states being referred to. Phrases. Advises caution, recommends being careful. Reconsider travel, suggests changing or delaying plans to visit certain places. Includes destinations like Egypt, refers to some countries that are part of the advisory. That's it for today's lesson. We explored many topics and learned important vocabulary and useful phrases. Remember, the more you connect English to what's happening around you, the easier it becomes to understand and use it in daily life. Okay, thanks for watching today's lesson on English Fab. I hope you found these English tips useful and feel more confident. Remember, practice makes perfect, so try using these phrases in your daily conversations. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more Fab English lessons. Until next time, keep practicing and stay Fab.